Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We are here with Alex Piscopo, and I am very excited to be hopping into a really cool travel poster today. We're excited to be joined by her. How's it going, Alex?
It's going pretty well. We've had some beautiful weather in Denver, so cannot complain.
Today's our Colorado Day. We were actually just live before this with another Colorado or Coloradoan. What is
Oh,
the Colorado people term?
Coloradian,
Coloradian. Okay. We were
yeah,
just live
I
with
hope
another
nobody.
Coloradian right before this, Deja Brown, and she did some wonderful postcard work that you guys should check out in both Illustrator and Express. But what are we working on today for the next hour?
Well, it's cool that Deja is from Colorado. I had no idea, and I tuned into her session, so I'm gonna have to connect with her, and maybe we can grab coffee or something one day.
Yeah. I feel like you guys would have an
Um,
awesome collab too, as far as like your styles merging, because you both are really good with color. So that's a whole nother conversation down the road. But yeah, sorry, I
Definitely.
derailed you. Back to today. What are we working on today?
So I have been really honing in on my personal illustration style lately. So we're going to be diving into my process for creating a Denver themed travel poster.
Oh, cool. And then also for anyone who is new to you and your work, do you just want to say a sentence or two about yourself as an artist?
For sure, yeah. So, I mean, like most, I'm a multidisciplinary designer, but my focus is brand design and illustration. And I'm also an Adobe ambassador and a mentor.
Great. And how many years would you say you have been messing around with design programs?
Oh man, I'm gonna expose myself a little bit. I got into the design industry in 2016, and then I graduated in 2020 with my degree in graphic design. So, I guess going on a decade this year.
That's
That's crazy
fantastic.
to say.
That's so cool though. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna share your screen. I'm also gonna say hello to people in just a second in the chats because we are live. If you guys have questions about anything, please let us know. And I will be sure to pass it over to Alex. Comments, compliments. We love to hear everything. We love to have you guys here. But also, if you're watching the replay, there should be plenty of stuff to check out and hop into. And I promise to make it worth your while. Looks like we're in Firefly boards. Is that kind of where we're generally starting out?
Yep.
All right, cool. And it says Denver, the Mile High City. We've got a gondola, we've got a skier, we've got a bear. Have you seen a bear before?
No. But
No.
I
Okay.
we talked on our last call and you were asking about like hiking and stuff and I'm
Mhm.
not a true Coloradian, like I really don't do hiking.
Yep,
I like casual strolls, but for a Denver theme poster and like a destination poster, I really wanted to hone in on like the iconic elements that people think of when they think of Colorado.
for sure.
And so this is kind of just like a glimpse into the actual poster that I made. So we're going to just break it down literally from the beginning of my process. And then so I can showcase like the programs that I use to get to this point and hopefully inspire some of you to maybe integrate Firefly into your processes because I use Firefly boards and also just like the regular generate images throughout this entire process.
Fantastic. Yeah. No, one of the reasons I asked you just about the bears is because there was one time we were in Colorado. I think we were in Steamboat Springs and we were in an Airbnb that had a hot tub in the backyard. And at one point, a bear came by and got in the hot tub.
With
And
you?
it's like one of the only times I've seen a bear in real life that wasn't in a zoo. Um, and it was crazy. I'm not sure if I'll be able to pull up the picture while we're here on stream, but if I find it, I'll put it in the Discord. And I was like, I guess we're not gonna get in the hot tub because who knows what he had all over his fur. But like it was great. He just got in, he plopped right in. I was like, he must do this all the
Oh,
time,
for
um,
sure.
which is
For
funny.
sure. That's his vacation home.
Hello to Stephen Overturf, who's saying Yego Alex. Welcome back to Jacob Paris. Andres Ramirez Design is here, saying that you are awesome. Carol, Mike, Reverb, Mike have all made the jump. If you guys have any questions, stuff, let us know. We're live on both YouTube and Behance, and it's great to have you guys here. Okay.
Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
So yeah, I will kind of give the microphone, the stage to you, and if we want to hop off into something, tell us where we're getting started.
All right. Yeah, so again, this is just what we're going to be breaking down. And I always start my projects in Firefly boards, whether it's my brand design clients or just my personal illustrative work, because it is, like I talk about it in my social media reels and stuff, it's the perfect tool for mood boarding. And I just love like the infinite canvas and being able to bring like drag and drop images in and move them around. And I love how it snaps to grids like this and it shows you like the exact amount of space between each image because I'm
Yeah.
definitely OCD about that kind of stuff. So it helps.
No, and it's also just like, yeah, it's something to be able to kind of like bring everything out and throw everything onto a board and then have it kind of organized and then have grids based off of that. Because I'm very much, yeah, the same way where I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna throw everything on there and then being able to click a button and have it organized is very helpful. I see that we have the very scary, notorious Denver airport horse here,
Yeah,
famously killed the sculptor
Lucifer.
that made it
Hmm.
with glowing red eyes, which is such a choice.
Yeah.
But what are some of the other stuff we're looking at in our imagery inspo?
Well, I love that you know about Lucifer because
Of
it's
course.
crazy. Like I was gonna touch on that. Like, so the artist who actually made that sculpture, he what I think they were like constructing the leg and like getting it like positioned right, and it actually fell on him, and that's how it killed him.
That's so wild.
And I know, and like this is one of the first things when you see when you land in Colorado, like when you're
Welcome to
leaving the
Colorado.
airport. Yeah. So, I mean, I love it. So it was definitely one of those elements that like I knew I wanted to include. And same with this one here, like when you're driving from the airport towards Denver, this is what you see, which is insane. It's like
Yeah,
our city and then the Rocky Mountains right behind it. And I mean, every
certainly.
time I travel and come back, I just feel like so grateful to live here.
Yeah,
It's beautiful. And yeah, I mean, we are very nature centric. Like there's a lot of greenery just like in the city and also in the mountains and a lot of wildlife. So I wanted to include those type of elements as like the main focal point. And you asked if I'd seen a bear. I haven't seen a bear here, but I have seen moose. And they're
they're
scary in
huge.
real
They're
life.
crazy.
They're huge. We were in the mountains and we were just driving along and he just kind of starts walking in front of our car. And it was the first time I'd seen one in real life. And I was shook, to
Yeah,
say the least.
10 times bigger than you ever even kind of
Yeah.
prep yourself for.
Yeah,
Um,
like bigger than the car.
that's so crazy.
Yeah. And my
Um,
girlfriend's in the front seat trying to call it to the car. I'm like, hun, no,
like,
they're
no, no,
not
no,
nice.
no.
They're not nice.
Let
Like
it
he
be.
will
Let it
kill
be. It
us.
will crush the car.
Literally.
um,
What else
that's
do we
cool.
got? So this is the Columbine flower. It's the state flower.
Hmm.
So I thought that
Beautiful.
was, yeah, they're beautiful. Wanted to include that. Um, this is our train station, which is also in the poster. And then this is Red Rocks, super iconic amphitheater. If you're into music, concerts, anything like that, definitely check it out.
Have you seen
I'm there.
anyone there?
I'm there every single summer,
I'm
more than
so
I could be.
jealous. I want
Yeah.
to go so badly. I want to see literally anyone. I would see Weird Al Yankovic. Like I will see anyone. I want to go to the red. We went during COVID. And obviously not for a concert. We just went to go up and down, and we like ran up and down
Mhm.
the steps. But I was like, I would love to see a concert here. So very cool stuff.
I think
Um,
Weird Al is coming this year, so
so I'll see you there.
let me know. I probably
uh,
won't be there, but if you go, I'll go.
okay, all right, sounds good.
And like some other things like Broncos, the Rockies, our sports teams, Coors Light, and then of course snowboarding and skiing. Like we're huge for that,
Yeah,
and
of
so
course.
people travel here. Yeah, and then green chilies. That's something else that we're known for food wise. If you
Hmm.
didn't know that, now you know.
I actually did not know that, so that's very
Yeah.
interesting. I guess I'm just
Hmm.
not a spicy guy, so
Hmm.
I am a wimp.
Like smothered green chili burritos. That's a huge thing here.
Oh, right on. Well, I'll have to try
Yeah.
it out the next time I'm out there.
It's
Um,
usually not too spicy, so you would probably be okay.
that's what people who like spicy stuff say, and then I am always very embarrassed.
I do like spice, so
Yeah,
maybe don't
all
listen
right.
to me. Yeah, but I mean, this is like how I start every project. So even if it's like a branding project and I'm just trying to get inspiration for like fonts or color palettes or logos, like I'll go to Pinterest, Behance, whatever, and then I just like drag and drop everything into here.
Hmm.
Because before Firefly, I actually used to use Miro,
Hmm.
and before that, I was using Illustrator. And like having a bunch of photos, like raster photos in Illustrator, will just break
Hurt your
your
performance.
computer in
Exactly.
half.
Yeah.
And so Firefly boards has like totally changed the game for me in regard to this.
We also have Annika joining us. Clever is here talking about the cursed sculpture. We have Reverb Mike talking about Hot Tub Time Machine because of my bear story, and that he used to run up the steps at Red Rocks, which, yeah, I saw a lot. We got the idea because there were people there like in full workout gear that were there running up. I'm like,
Yeah,
that is exhausting. Probably get you
that's
good glutes,
crazy.
though. Uh, so we moved over to layout inspiration, which we also have here in our Firefly boards. Tell us a little bit about where you're getting inspiration for your layout.
So this is the first poster that I've made in a very long time that is totally illustrated. So I
Hmm.
really wanted to figure out ways to blend the imagery together, and this one really stuck out to me. It's almost like having images together that you wouldn't really see together in real life, but like they
Yeah,
exist in that world. And so I really wanted to do that with mine, is like blend all of these different elements to make it look cohesive. So I just kind of found a few that I really loved, and this one, the New York one, and this. And then also like my style is a little psychedelic. Like I try to not like push it to be too trippy, but kind of similar to this. And so that's why I wanted to include this one as well.
yeah.
Just to like refer back to, you know.
No, I love psychedelic art. There's some really cool illustrators, especially as you would imagine in the 60s and 70s. But it's really cool to then also see that those aesthetics have then been built upon, and now there's even other ways to approach it in common day design. So yeah, never, with me at least, never worry about too many psychedelic designs because they're always really exciting to look at the details. Um,
Definitely. And it's so cool, like you just said, to build off of that. It's like, back then Adobe like Max, like compute like the digital design world wasn't a thing. And
yeah,
so to like see old posters being kind of like revamped now with digital art, it's such a cool like comparison.
yeah, and also people are able to like do, and especially with the motion graphics with psychedelics. It's like being able to then pull out certain traits from different image data that you wouldn't really be able to do by hand. Like if you're just like being like, I want to take all the saturation of this color and I want to move it over here. Like that is a way that you're like, whoa, which like maybe you could do by hand, but not in the same way. So it's cool to be able to see updates for that. But I got sidetracked. Sorry. But
For
very
sure.
cool
No,
inspiration. Also appreciate that you have New York and Brooklyn in here. Woo woo. Which is really great to see. But nice to
I
see.
did
Also,
that
what
for
is the
you.
typeface you have for layout inspo? Do you know?
Yeah, this is one of my brand fonts. It's Machine Killer.
Machine Killer. Right on.
Yeah.
Okay. That's so fun. Okay.
Just
I'll
to
be sure to
play
put
off
that in the
of
Discord.
all of this.
Yeah. That's so fun. Um,
Um, yeah, so I mean, let me just zoom out for a sec because I do kind of just want to show everybody like this infinite canvas is crazy, so fun. Like you can just add like so many different parts of your process together and then like
yeah.
refer back to it. And so that's why I really love it. You can zoom out, zoom in, super easy as well.
And then are you on a trackpad or are you just using a mouse?
I have both.
Yeah, both. Okay, cool. Yeah, because
Mhm.
I know you can
Yeah.
like scroll in and out with a mouse wheel, or you can like hold down Control and zoom in and out, or you can also even like pinch. So it feels very um, iPad adjacent, but I use it all the time on desktop, so it feels very seamless in that way.
Mhm.
And then you're just accessing all of this in Chrome, so you can just access it from your browser, which is nice.
Yep. Yeah, I'm using a trackpad to do this. I don't use my
Mm-hmm.
mouse, like the scroll thing. I don't know. I've
Mm-hmm.
just never really been able to get the hang of that. So
Got it.
yeah, just use both.
And it looks like this
But
starts in the analog world of paper and pencil, which is nice. Always appreciate that. What do we got here with your sketches?
yeah, so when I got into the design industry in 2016, I started with tattoo design. So I unfortunately wasn't like doing actual tattoos, which I still want to get into that one day,
Yeah.
but I just knew that I wanted to be tatted. And so a lot of this like on my arm and on my leg, like I've drawn, and I got started with kind of like freelancing,
Oh,
doing commissions for people who wanted tattoos but wanted something like super custom. And so the world of analog, like pencils and microns and sketch pads, is so true to me. And like before I dive into anything digital, like any Adobe programs, I mean, aside from like mood boarding in Firefly, I really love to just sketch out my ideas.
Right.
And so, like I mentioned, referring back to Firefly, just kind of looking at inspo photos, like I really wanted to hone in on a few things that stuck out to me and like I really envisioned for this. And so I love like the idea of having the banner at the top and then the Mile High City somewhere, because that's what Denver is referred to as since we're a
Yep.
mile up. Mountains, trees, the columbine flowers, a bear, and then the gondola. And so just kind of like sketching these ideas out just helps give me a better idea of what it's all gonna come together and like
Yeah.
come to fruition to look like.
I love that little bear so much. It's so simple. It's just a few lines,
Mhm.
but he's so cute. He's so cute. And I
He's
love his
so
little nose in the
cute.
front.
Maybe
And I'm
that should just be
seeing,
my logo.
yeah, right. Do you tend to gravitate towards dotted sketchbooks?
Yeah,
Okay, cool. Got it.
for
I'm more
sure.
of a blank canvas guy, but I have plenty of friends and designers that swear by either the dots or the grids. So it's always fun to hear how different people work in their sketchbooks.
Yeah, I have so many Adobe sketchbooks from like the past few maxes and events
Yeah.
that I've been at, and I pretty much only use the ones that have the grids.
Yeah. I'm gonna put a chat in a poll chat actually in the YouTube chat. So if you guys are around on YouTube, let us know what kind of sketchbook you like. If you like blank, dotted, or grid. So I'm gonna set up that poll right now as you kind of bring us over to the next thing.
It's so niche. I love it.
Yeah, I know, right? But people know
Uh,
exactly what I'm talking about, right?
like if you know, you know. And this is so simple, but it's just like a way for my brain to kind of break down how I want the text to look because the text is so important, especially in a poster like this. So I like to just kind of see like if I'm gonna break it up, kind of have it together above the composition or under it or like ingrained into it. And so, like I said, I really wanted this to kind of like melt together and be fluid and have these elements look like they exist together. So
Of
I
course.
ultimately I did end up going with like this bottom one and integrating it in. And then this is a kind of like an exercise that one of my professors in design school taught me. It's like just get 8 layouts out, and I think it was in 8 minutes. So you have 8 minutes to do this, and it's really just like to get the ideas for the overall layout onto a piece of paper so you can see what's working and what isn't.
Mm-hmm.
And it really does help. Like I try to do this exercise before every project. And there's some that are really simple, like the sun one in the top right corner. And then there's others that were just a little bit too like nature centric. I
Yeah.
wanted to have a few more elements into it. I want to have the city in it as well. So ultimately, this one here with the blue highlighter is what I went with.
So overall, though, so when you're saying 8 minutes, so it's 8 minutes per little area. So this page took a little
Mhm.
bit over an hour to make.
No, 8 minutes in total. So a minute per square. Yeah.
Wow,
It's
you
like
really are just
quick.
really flying things around there. That's very impressive.
Mhm.
But yeah, a good
Well,
way
that's
to
the
get
point
things
because
out.
it's like, yeah, it's like to push your brain to like not overthink.
Yeah,
Because I feel like I just overthink things too much, and I'm sure a lot of designers can relate to that. So if you
certainly.
push yourself to do it in a short amount of time, you don't have time to really think about where you're putting things,
Yeah.
and subconsciously, like what the layout that you want will just come to the surface.
That's a great point. I know that when I've done life drawing before, you always start the session normally with very quick, like 30 seconds or 1 minute poses. But I've never thought about applying that directly to the compositions of my designs. So I'll definitely try that out. I'll let you know. Mine will probably look a lot less pretty than this. You are great at being able to knock this out in a minute per square. And then I also want to say hello to both Larks and Clever and Axel. It looks like we have a range of different opinions about sketchbooks. 60% of people say blank, 30% say dotted, 10%, I put this in for crazy people, notebook lines. So not even grid lines, but notebook lines. You guys go off on that, but Axel's also voting for blank. Steven saying dotted, grid, sketchbook for the win. And Clever says she uses all kinds. So we have quite the range of people. And excited to see as that poll kind of progresses. Because, yeah, it's only 10 people who have voted there. But I'll leave it up for a little bit for others.
Who
Um,
voted for the lines? We need
I
to call
can't
them
see
out.
who. I can't see who. But make sure you guys call yourselves out so that we can bully you. Speak
Yeah.
up to be bullied, please. um,
Oh. So yeah, the that's kind of like where I land with the beginning part of my work is like I said, even client projects, I really don't dive into the digital realm until I have this laid out.
Certainly.
And it's what works for me. You know, it doesn't work for everybody. I know people who jump straight into their computer, into Illustrator, and what they create looks incredible.
Yeah.
I just have to like go through steps to get to that point.
Yeah, there's no shame. There's shame to be had. I think there's pride to have an analog approach. I think I normally start with digital because of some of my like hesitancies to not be able to hit undo. But I think that like with your experiment and exercise, like maybe that's even something that is part of the benefit of going and just having to kind of connect your brain to your hand because you're like, there's no undo, just go. Um, so that it's a good approach, and I like it.
Yeah, I feel like I had that mentality for a long time too. And like even so I said I graduated in 2020 and what it's 2026 now. Like I think I lost myself a little bit along the way, like a couple years ago. And like I did just start jumping directly to the computer because I was like, oh my God, like I can't undo this on a notepad. But I think a lot of the strong ideas can come from being imperfect and not feeling like you can just undo it, you know, and like
Yeah,
it gives a little bit, it gives like different pressure. And yeah, I think it's just been like a healthy exercise for me.
certainly. And then I'm seeing that we hopped over to your Fresco process, and from this screenshot, I can even see that you had brought in your sketches from your physical media and then put them kind of above the canvas for drawing out this first take on your poster.
So I like to bring in my sketches at the top. I know some designers make their sketches so perfect that they just bring it in and then kind of trace over it.
They're crazy for
But
that.
yeah. I don't put that much detail into my like analog sketches
Hmm.
unless that's like the goal of it. But yeah, I like to do that. And then sometimes I add my inspo photos in. I didn't do it for this one, but just so it's around the canvas and it keeps me on track for what the goal is.
Yeah.
But I I'm not going to bore you with the real-time sketching because this took so long.
Yeah.
This is like 15x right now that you're
Yeah, of
seeing.
course. Of course. I mean, yeah, that's how it goes, right? And when you're generally working, are you working in like where you're sitting now, your studio space, or do you like to go to coffee shops and draw there? Where do you find your best work is done?
So sometimes I'm in my office here, but also I like to sit on the couch.
Mhm.
I recently started like adding some more color to our living room, so it's just like inspiring and energizing place to sit and draw.
Yeah.
But I don't really find myself going to coffee shops much anymore because I get distracted.
Oh,
I
yeah,
get
it's
I get
more.
home and I'm like, I didn't do anything.
Yeah. I used
So
to go on work dates with friends, and it became very clear that we had to like set up structure, or either otherwise we would just sit there and chit chat and like pull up different news articles and talk about news, which is
literally,
counterproductive to getting stuff done. But
that's really
yeah, no, I do miss some of my coffee shop stuff, but I feel like I'm more productive at home now. So we'll see.
for sure.
But thank you
Yeah,
for
so
sharing that
I did
process. It
this
was cool
one.
seeing that come together.
Yeah,
Very
of
neat.
course. And this also, like, this took so long to do, but the way that I kind of do it, like, I didn't record the whole thing just because it did take me over the course of like a couple weeks to finish this poster.
Of course.
Like, I'll export this as like a flat image and then bring it back into Fresco and just kind of like lower the opacity and then just continue to like refine the lines, trace over it, and then that's just kind of how I build upon it. But
Gotcha.
I think something really important to note in Fresco. First of all, Fresco is amazing. If you don't use it and you're an illustrator, you're doing it wrong. Like the vector brushes are amazing if you like to have that hand-drawn feel. And especially like the layers, like you can see the layers on the side of this just kind of develop over time. You know, there's just a few here. And then I make sure to have each individual element, you know, the mountains are their own layer, the banner's its own layer. And it'll be important for the next step when we bring it into Illustrator because you can actually import this file and all the layers are separated.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can just kind of see that grow.
I also know
Uh,
Jacob Paris, who was in the chat a little earlier. He swears by his Fresco usage. So if he's there, I'm sure he's also happy to see some of that. Uh, but yeah,
Jacob knows.
10 years
And
later.
then we'll land on this 10 years later,
Wow,
literally.
amazing.
So
Cool.
yeah, but this specifically, I mean, like I said, I haven't really done a full illustrative poster like this in a long time. So
Hmm.
it was a learning curve for me, but it was so much fun. And though it took a little bit, like I'm definitely going to do some in the future.
Yeah,
And so yeah, I think it's important to just like push yourself as a creative to create things for yourself and try to step away from client work if you can.
of course.
And
It's
that's
important to have that balance.
mhm. Yeah, and like last year was so tough in a lot of different ways, and I think it pushed me personally, professionally to just like take a step back and look at my business and be like, what's working and what isn't. And
Right,
I was just doing client work 100% of the time. Well, like 50% of the time, the other 50% was like admin stuff.
right.
But I'm like, why am I burnt out? Why do I feel misaligned? Like, why do I feel this way? And it's like, oh, the reason I got into the design industry is to create things that I like to create, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
So I think there's something to be said about taking chunks out of your day, out of your week to just make something for you.
I think that's a great sound snippet too. I do want to call out a few things in the poster that I really enjoy here. I really like the lines that you have radiating from the mountain, brings the viewer's eye straight into the middle, brings you past like the Denver and the area. I still love the bear as always. I love the columbine flowers. They're a nice little touch on the bottom that add like a lot of depth. They feel like very close to the viewer, but then you go all the way back to the city and all the way back to the mountains, which is really nice. Um,
Mhm.
and then, of course, we have our horse. Of course, we
We
have to have our horse. So I appreciate you
have to.
incorporating that. Um, Also, welcome to Jack. Good to have you here, Jack. Right now, we're just going over Alex's process, and we're looking kind of from idea, all the way from inspiration, all the way up to creating it in Fresco, and then refining it over here. And now we are looking at this Denver poster. Hello to Winter, who's also joining us. If you guys have questions, let us know, and I will be sure to pass them over to Alex. We are, I want to say, about exactly halfway through. Wow, look at me for checking that out. Um, and
Perfect.
I do want to take just a quick detour since we are halfway through to pull up two different things. The first being your. Oh, wait, what did I just do? That's crazy. You can split tabs in Chrome now. That's nuts. How does
What?
that happen?
Don't
Um,
tell me. I
yeah,
already have to
that's
tab.
crazy. Did you know you could do that? That's like I'm not even gonna show people right now. You can like switch it so it's like half and half in the same browser window. I've never seen that before.
Oh,
Complete
yeah, I've seen
accident.
that.
But here we go. I'm gonna bring up your Instagram here. Um, and you are Alex Copo Designs on Instagram. You have lots of fun stuff between branding and illustrations. Um, and you also similarly have a lot of food illustrations too. We were just with Deja talking about the importance and beauty of having food illustrations. So make sure you guys go ahead and follow Alex there. You generally post things that you're just kind of like having fun working on, or what do you like to post on Instagram?
Yeah, so kind of touching on like last year just being a crazy year, I feel like I broke a lot down in my business and started to rebuild it based on like how I envision my future and like what I want out of my brand. And so I used to post a lot of client work. So, you scroll back like past all the illustrations and it's like mock-ups of kind of similar to that one right there with the Kulina. It's the bottles. I had a lot of brand projects,
Hmm.
and I still obviously do brand design projects, but I've really been trying to hone in on illustration work more. And
Okay.
so I've always done that in my client projects, but like really pushing it now and doing things for me and trying to enter into the art licensing world. And
Ooh,
so
okay.
So still doing client work, but like all of these illustrations, I'm just trying to kind of like dip my toes into that world. And like that newspaper one on the right side. Yeah,
Yeah.
so Liz actually reached out to me about that, and we have some cool merch designs coming with that. That's going to be at some Firefly
Congrats. That's so
event.
cool.
Yeah. And so we just finalized some of that last week, and I don't know, it was just very encouraging because that was one of my first ones that I posted, and it was always a dream to make merch for Adobe. And so the fact that like something actually came from it, like a personal design, like personal illustration, it was just a really cool moment.
That's the most exciting, right? That's the ones when I don't know, it manifests in the best ways, and you get to have the coolest stuff. And then also just one other thing, since we're about halfway through our show, I know I mentioned the Discord in a capacity, but I also just want to bring it up one more time in case anyone's just joining us. You can join by going to adobelivediscord.com, and there you're able to get access to the schedules. You can see that right after this, we're having Jacob Phillips and Emily Pullen. They're elevating real estate videos in Firefly boards and premieres, followed by making decisions, where Jess is going to be making some coloring pages in Illustrator. And then we also have some poster design with Magdiel Lopez, who created the splash page for Photoshop. When you open up Photoshop, it's Magdiel's work, and he has his own show at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, and that is later today. And then also tomorrow we have a great TikTok show happening, I think also with Jess Goldsmith. So make sure you guys follow for there. And then also you have all these areas where you can talk, you can get links and resources, and we'd love for you guys to join the Discord. So that is my
Yeah, I
spiel.
feel like you got a good lineup. You got Jess, Magdiel. I think I saw Ted tomorrow, so I'm definitely gonna be tuning into all of these.
Oh yeah, tomorrow's Ted, isn't it? Oh yeah, I said it was
Mhm.
Jess. Jess, I think is next week. So
I
Ted,
think
yeah,
isn't it
Ted,
today?
fantastic. Hmm?
I thought Jess was today. I could
She's
be
also
wrong.
today, but I'm sorry, on TikTok
Okay,
next
okay.
week. She's also on TikTok.
Cool.
She's doing a double whammy next week. As far as our polling for what kind of sketchbook do you use, we have 65% of people using blank paper, 20% using dotted, and 15% using notebook
Wow.
lines, 0% using grid lines, meaning that somebody else voted for notebook lines. So you're
Yeah.
all crazy because we literally doubled our votes and we're up to 20 votes now, but there's more crazy people that are using notebook lines. Um, but wow, very, very
Who
interesting.
are you?
Who are
Expose
you?
yourself in the chat.
Expose yourself so we can bully you. I'll say it again. All right. So what's
Uh,
next for us today?
Yeah, so we're gonna switch gears. And so from here, you hit this button and then you just export it with layers to
Hmm.
your desktop. And so that's how I bring it directly into Illustrator on my computer. And so I really just like to keep line work in Fresco. I mean, obviously, I have a few colors here, but that was just because like they were layered. So the black, I wouldn't really be able to tell like where the black lines were.
Right.
Um, but like adding color in Illustrator is so much easier. So I'm gonna kind of show you how to do that. And I'm so smart. I already got the files lined up, so we don't have to waste time opening them.
That's our little cooking show magic right there.
Yeah. And
Well,
so, yeah, this is kind of how it will get brought in. And I just like to highlight this layers panel over here because it really is so powerful. And unfortunately, this is how it gets brought in. I don't know if you can name your layers in Fresco and they'll transfer over. So, Jacob, if you know, or if you know Ryan, let me know.
yeah.
Um, but this is like how it looks. And so I'll just even show you like my final file here. Because
Oh wow.
I like to name my layers for sure when there's 68.
I'll send you my files and you can name mine if you really enjoy it. And then you can send it back
I
to me.
don't
That'd be great.
enjoy it. I hate it. I hate it. It has to be done though. It's like, how many times can I just try to click through these things and like just try to figure it out before I give in and start naming them all?
It's just one of the things where it's like, it's the same mentality of like when you don't change your clocks for the longest time because of the time shift. And then you're like, at this point, the amount of times that I've had to do the mental math, like I could have changed the clock 100 times at this point. Like,
No, I'm
um,
like, what's wrong with me? Like, why am I just continually clicking into the wrong layer? Like, just name it. Come
and
on.
then as far as like landing on your colors, do you start with like a base of like just adding the colors of where you imagine they would be, and then you refine them to make them more cohesive? Do you eyeball it the whole time? I think that your colors are a really strong part of the poster. Just wondering kind of how you get there from black and white.
Yeah, so I really love just kind of going in and like once I get the composition how I want and I refine all the edges, just kind of adding in colors like where I think they would go. And then typically once I have a lot of the composition colored in, I start to refine those. And I really like to have bright colors in my compositions. So like I'm pretty sure these ones, like the sun rays were a little bit lighter
Hmm.
in hue, like they weren't as deep and saturated when I first started, but it's just kind of one of those things that like creating depth, over time.
Certainly.
Um, and so, yeah, I mean, I think with this one, I didn't really have an inspo color palette. I just wanted to kind of wing it and see what happened. And yeah, landed on that.
Turned out nicely. Also, I like the colors of the mountains and how they kind of interact with the colors of the grass. Um,
Mm,
so lots
thank
of very
you.
cool stuff.
And then so like when I bring it in here, I worked at an agency years ago, and so setting up files was they were anal about it. Obviously, like it's
Yep.
very important.
Yep.
So before I really do anything, I like to make sure my file is set up right.
Thank you.
And yeah.
I had a creative director. I think it was a creative director. That was horrible at his layers. He would make over the simplest things too. Even like we're talking. This was all before like generative fill and stuff like that. So we were all doing like stamp tools and clone tools and stuff. And I remember going to him and being like, Frank, can you please just like clean up your layers a little bit? And he's like, I can't help it. It's a canvas. I paint. And I was like, Frank, you're working with 12 other people right now, and I just need you to please clean your document. But he was more senior, so he kind of just shrugged it off. He later got fired, but that's besides the point. So it's good.
As expected.
Yeah, right. I'm like,
But
yeah, if you don't work with others, if you don't clean your documents, who knows?
yeah, you got to
Um,
work well with others.
and to be clear, I did not complain about him. I was just kind of like, okay, yes, sir, because I was still very young. I did not get him fired,
Right.
but he did get
Yeah.
fired. So,
Yeah, okay. You didn't get fired. I feel like what I'm doing here is just kind of like setting my file up to be ready for like colors and everything. I always like to have that background white color, and then I usually just go into my layers panel and lock it just so I don't mess around with it.
yeah.
And then now I'm just like sizing it because I knew like I designed this to be 18 by 24.
Hmm.
So want to
Very
make
close to
sure,
size.
yep, nice and big. And I wanted it to be wide just because I knew that like the city would be wide and like having all these elements would it would just make sense to be a little bit bigger.
Yeah, certainly.
And now
Um,
this is, sorry, go ahead.
no, no, no. Mine was not important.
I'm sure it was somewhat important.
It was just asking if anything behind you is anything that you've printed for yourself in your
Mm.
space. Like I said, promise it
Yeah,
wasn't important, but yeah, that's cute.
that's important. That's important
Yeah,
because this I took a screen printing class in design school and I cried every single day because it was so
jealous.
horrible.
I mean, not jealous of
Um,
you crying, but I'm jealous. I wanted to learn screen printing. My roommate in freshman and senior year had a carousel, and I was like, "We're gonna learn one weekend," and then I just never got around to having him teach me. But
mhm.
um, very cool.
It's tough. So respect to everybody out there who does it, like registering your designs with different colors. I remember I just like pushed myself for my final project and I think I did 4 or 5 colors, which was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Should just stick
It's
with two.
tough.
Like two, that was even hard to make.
Yeah,
And yeah, I just remember there's some crying, some screaming going on.
all part of my
Yeah.
creative process. The tears.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's the only one that I've done.
Yeah, I can actually. I realized I didn't make it bigger for you, for everyone. So it says question everything, and kind of
Mhm.
switches through just so people can see your work. So very cool.
Yeah.
Move back down here. And for anyone just joining us, we are looking through Illustrator now. I'm seeing Jacob saying 5 colors. Good Lord. Jacob knows. Jacob is really handy with a bunch of different stuff. I know we were also talking about how he was doing Fresco, but he also is really good at print media. He does lots of tabling. He does lots of merch.
Mhm.
So if you guys have any questions and Jacob Paris is around, make sure you ask that man. Super talented guy.
Jacob's awesome. I did art maxing with him. That was my last live stream I did.
Yes, Art Maxing. Got to bring it back at some point. It's a wonderful game show that we have on rotation for our scheduling. It's been a few months since we've had a new episode of it, but Jacob's a great host and he brings people in and does different questions while artists are working on different things. He has a thing where he's like having trivia about keyboard shortcuts and stuff. All of the replays are available. He's had some really awesome guests, so make sure you guys check that out on the Adobe Live channel.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's like making design fun. I feel like that's what that was all about, and like also informing people.
Certainly.
So there might be a better way to do this. I'm not sure what's going on. My computer is lagging so bad right
I mean,
now.
yeah, you're also struggling with sharing your screen with me at the same time. I
Yeah.
think I know what you're doing. Are you looking to just kind of do the cutoffs?
Well, so Yeah, not a bleed, but like the cutoffs for the elements that are going off of the canvas.
Okay, so you can do this, and sometimes this is a little hard on your system. So especially if you're struggling, I don't know if it will still will. But if you go up
Okay.
to View at the very top of Illustrator, you can actually click Trim View, and it will do
Hmm.
that for you. And then it will just show you. It's not destructive; it's just a view. So if you click it,
Hmm.
it will automatically just show you what it's like with anything that goes off, and you can turn that on
Yeah,
and off.
so I know that, but for these, like, you might have, I mean, that might be the way to do it, but like these elements, like when I'm trying to do the shape builder tool in between them, it has to have like a cutoff point on the
I
outside.
understand. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gotcha.
Does that work
Okay.
with trim view?
With the cutoff point, I mean, it's not for anything that you export it for, but it
Mhm.
will as for something like, yeah, yeah.
Let's
If
just
you,
see. Because basically, like the border is there because these are going off the edge.
mm-hmm.
And then when I use the shape builder, it has to have like that end point on the corner.
Right. I understand. I understand. Yeah. No, I think
So
what you got going on is probably maybe the best solution, unless Jack Watson is here, and I always tell Jack like 30% of the things that I've learned in Illustrator is because she has taught them to me, and she is the one that knows the best. So if there's anything that you know as a work solution there, Jack, let us know in the chat. I would love to hear any solution. Otherwise, we'll just keep working in the way that we are.
I'll just keep building a rectangle around my canvas.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so this is like something that has blown my mind with Fresco is like I said, the layer panel, but it's so cool. Like if you click on this, it only clicks on one because that was obviously like one brush stroke in Fresco,
Yep.
but it has it grouped because that's how I had it on my layers in Fresco. And
Right.
so you can like toggle it on and off and it'll show all of them. But if you want to hit everything that's in that layer, you hit this little circle and then it selects it all.
Great.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that or if that's just if that's common knowledge,
No,
cool.
it's ready. I mean, it's
I
great.
didn't
The
know
one that
that.
I ended up kind of similar right there is that now there's that little red square next to the circle that you clicked, and if you click
Mhm.
a new layer and then you drag that square to that new layer, then it will move the selected things off to the new layer, which I did not know for the longest time.
Mm.
And so it's just, the little circles and buttons that are there that you're like, oh, everything does have a purpose. It's not just there for decoration.
Literally, I'm like, ooh, a square and a circle. Oh, wait, I need to use this every single day. And yeah, when I use color, I use those squares pretty much every single time because you have to like have a layer selected to add
Hmm.
color, and then it gets added to that layer. And then so
Right.
you kind of have to click the colors and move it. Here, let's see. I am gonna bring this out of trim. Uh-oh,
Oh,
getting clip
overpropriety. Oh
crazy over
boy,
here.
getting a bunch of crazy stuff here. Um,
All right.
Jack says, "I hear my
See,
name." Yeah, so we're adding these squares around so that then we're able to properly trim the vectors of the content that we had, and we can do it as a view, but we weren't sure if there was a better way to do it than the way that we're doing it with rectangles around the canvas. But I'm thinking that this is probably the best way that we do it.
yeah,
So,
because it shows you, like where the shape is gonna get built, and
hmm,
so and it ends exactly on that rectangle.
yep,
So that's just kind of how I've been doing it.
and working on building out these color shapes on the in between.
And yeah, obviously we're not going to go through all of this and color it all in, but I just want to kind of show a little bit about like my workflow with it and like the shape builder tool has changed the game for me.
No,
I
I
think
was just talking actually with Deja Brown right before this. I know I'm bringing that stream up a lot, but we're having so much crossover here, where she is a big Pathfinder user, and I am also a big Pathfinder user, but for a lot of times the younger designers that I'm working with on streams or just meeting at Adobe events, Jacob Paris included, and sorry to call you younger Jacob Paris, but also we're at the age now where like that's a compliment. All the younger designers are using shape builder over Pathfinder,
Mhm.
and it's a switch between the two.
I
Um,
use both
yeah,
actually. That's why I have it up right here. But the shape builder for colors like this, when I have heavy illustrations going on, I think it's a little quicker.
yeah. Um, it's definitely something that I trained myself to then be like, no, I want to learn this other thing because I see other people do really cool stuff with it, and I want to add it to my process. Reverb Mike is saying that he also uses Pathfinder. Um,
Mm,
and so, yeah, it all comes down to preference. I always say there's like 6 ways to do the same thing for
one thing.
everything in
Yeah.
any Adobe program. So,
Mm. Yeah, I love that though, because it's like you can just find what works for you and what works for your work. Because I think, yeah, there's some tools that are quicker than others for certain things, and it's just a matter of like what really works for you.
yeah. Oh, Jack's giving us some solutions here too. I don't want to derail us, but just for anyone that's also watching and they want to explore on their own too, she's talking about using the live paint tool and increasing the gap
Mhm.
detection tool. But I don't know if if that works with the edge of also going beyond the confines of the canvas or not. I don't know. We'll have to have her make a video for us
Mhm.
and go through all the different stuff because this is also
Yeah,
working great for us.
if that's not a thing, I feel like that would be a great tool that could get added to Illustrator to help. Maybe like where that view button is up there, you could kind of toggle it on or something, and then it would get cut off at the bleed or something, you know?
Mike is saying, no, I drove a Nissan Pathfinder. So yeah, kick Reverb Mike out, guys. He's gone. No more.
Okay.
It's enough.
And
I'm
so
gonna just
yeah, like the
pretend that you're
shape
designing while
builder
you're driving. Sorry.
in your Nissan. There's like computer up on the side.
Yep. No, I've seen worse things in Brooklyn. I've
Oh, I'm sure.
seen
I
someone
mean,
reading a book
people,
before, and that was terrifying. I'm like, you have to be kidding me. You are driving and reading a book. That's insane.
I feel like I've probably seen stuff like that here in Colorado. The drivers here are just horrible.
Yeah.
So another thing with the shape builder, which is why I lean towards this, is like I know I'm gonna want to cut this out eventually. And so
Hmm.
instead of having it as the plus, I can just toggle with the option button and then hit that, and then it erases it for me.
Girl, bye.
Bye. Super quick.
And so
We
yeah,
love
it's the
that.
thing with like different layers and stuff. Is kind of having all the overlapping areas and just having to make sure you go through and clean everything out. Um,
Hmm.
but also sometimes you can find really cool intersections and move things around if you need to because you have the flexibility of the different layers.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's why I like to do color in Illustrator. I don't know, like we were talking about, everybody has preferences, but I just feel better on my desktop. I feel like I
Hmm.
have more control of things, and especially when it comes to like fine tuning, and adding big blocks of color and like naming your layers. Because by this time, like all of my layers would have been named already. I like to kind of go in and do that first, but I'm not gonna bore you with my layer naming.
No, I'm
Even though
I'm here for it though. At the same time,
isn't that I think it's a thing though, Ryan. Maybe it's just Photoshop. Didn't Adobe integrate
right
generative AI
now.
into it?
I knew where you were going with it, so I got excited and I started
Yeah.
responding. But that's the full question for anyone that doesn't know what we're about to talk about. So I'll let you ask it.
Yeah, you're just so excited you want me to ask it quicker. Okay. Yeah, I think at Max they were talking about like generative AI being built into Photoshop and then it can analyze your layers and then automatically name them for you.
Yes, so that
Right?
is coming, I believe, in Photoshop for web right now, and I'm hoping that they
Cool.
integrate it into every program ever created by Adobe, because it's the one thing that I would love, love, love to have. Even if it's wrong about anything, if it
Yeah,
hallucinates or it misunderstands what it's looking at, it's still a thousand times better than layer 78, layer 78
totally.
2, 11, or
Totally.
like
Especially
ones.
for you. It
Yeah,
seems like
no.
you need it.
I need it a lot. So, um, definitely.
And so yeah,
Uh,
sometimes like this stuff gets a little bit weird, so you have to like just make sure like your layers are on point for this reason. Like this color was that chunk was in a different layer than I wanted it to be. But
yeah,
ultimately, like if you want to check where those layers are, you can just hit that I button and then it'll show you what's in that. So I think I want to do, I'll put it like back here because I want it to be like behind the mountains and stuff. So I usually do like sun ray, because like I have sun rays listed up there for the outline, and then I'll do like sun rays fill. And then I'll just move all of this there.
nice, nice and
Hmm.
organized. I'm just holding down shift, kind of collecting things. I'm seeing Angel is saying reminiscing about younger creative days, particularly this skeleton project that literally grew so big we had to roll it into school on an office chair.
Oh my God, the paper mache skeletons. Is that what you're talking about?
Apparently, I guess that's what Angel's talking about. It's Angel Wenrich. I don't
Oh,
know
that's my
if
mom.
that's your mom. Okay, there you go.
I was like, no way did somebody else do that.
Yeah.
They didn't. My mom's just reminiscing on it.
You literally have a paper
Oh,
mache
I
skeleton
love
that
you,
you rolled
mom.
in.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was like a school project, and my mom is just the best. I love her so much, and she always went above and beyond for our projects at school when we were young, and so we did like a life-size paper mache skeleton, and it was like falling apart trying to bring it in, so we had to put it in a chair and roll it in.
That's so funny. And
It
thanks,
was
mom.
ridiculous.
Thanks, mom,
I
for
know.
being supportive of our creative pursuits.
Yeah,
Uh,
she is the best. All right, now I'm moving all of these down here, which, by the way, I know this looks so slow, and it's just because my computer is going to explode.
yeah. You know, we
Okay,
are throwing a lot at it right now. We have different programs open,
yeah,
big artboards on each of them, and also we're streaming at the same time. So,
yeah. And I need a new computer, so
oh yeah,
we
because
love that.
you're on a Mac, it seems. How long have you had this Mac?
I think I got it in 2019.
Okay, so yeah, you're probably still on the Intel chips. They probably don't have Apple Silicon yet, and they're having an event next week, and they're expected to announce new laptops. So
Oh,
just
okay,
so
great.
you know,
Yeah, I think mine was the last one to have that chip thing, so
yeah.
it's definitely fine. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to like show you guys how to bring like a fresco illustration into Illustrator and then like how vital layers are and then
Hmm.
just like how easy it is to really use like shape builder tools and kind of like get this effect.
Right.
And then, ultimately, like in the Firefly thing, 10 years later, finally got to that. So yeah, this is the final poster that I ended on, and I wanted to showcase this in like our last few minutes that we have together, just to also showcase the power of Firefly because it's been such a game changer, like in this mood board um section, and then also like for actually generating mockups and things that like I want to put on my website.
Yeah.
And so I actually have this on my website.
Oh, great.
Yeah, if you guys like Denver or you want a Denver themed poster in your house, it's on my site.
And it's Denver themed Adobe Live Day, so it totally fitting. Like
It
we
is.
didn't plan that accordingly, but it is what happened. So
That's
uh,
so funny.
it's also nice seeing it in a space, adding also it to like a very neutral colored room so that it really draws your attention to the work itself and also adds a pop of color, which I feel like a lot of people need because a lot of people have too boring of interior design. And it's like, just add color. Add color.
Yes.
We have color. Uh,
I love you for saying that because you're not gonna believe like the next thing that I did.
oh,
Like
right.
you're saying like, oh yeah, it pops out, but then you said something about adding more color. And so
Yeah.
this was the first rendition that I did, which you go here and then you hit edit, and then you can hit edit with Gemini 3. I mean, you could choose whatever one you want,
Hmm.
but it's so cool that you can like create these things inside of Firefly boards. Like it's been a game changer.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I prompted it because I was like, it's too beige.
Oh, there it
And I
is.
was
Look at that.
like,
See, yeah, but you took the approach that I would take and the real space for it. So I love that lamp. I wish
I
that lamp was
know.
real.
I know it might be like a
My cat would
mushroom
push
lamp
it
or
off and shatter
something.
it in the middle of the night, though. I'm positive. So it's also
That's
the.
what happens when you have cats,
I know,
not
right?
dogs.
Shame on me. Um,
And
but yeah,
then
that
there's
puts it just
one.
about time.
Yeah,
Oh, but
there's one
also
more I
you have
just
some more
wanted to
things.
show
Yeah.
you. Yeah, I mean, this was just like another static mock-up that I made of a shirt because I might put it on
Mm-hmm.
shirts.
That's
But this
great.
one's so cool. Like you can take this and then, like I said, you could do generate video and then you just like sample this from the canvas and then you use it as first frame. And obviously, like I already prompted this one, but
Yeah.
this is the video that I got from it.
Oh, she comes. She sits down and she reads her book, and she's like, "I was just reading this while I was driving the other day."
Exactly, full circle.
Got to pick up right back up where I was. No, that's so cool
Oh, it's so
though, and
funny.
it makes you really get a better understanding of it existing in a physical space, which is really neat. So
Yeah, so I figured just like showcasing this and like kind of wrapping up the stream to show that you could use this as like a social campaign or on your website, just like pushing it a little bit further to see, yeah, how it exists in the real world.
absolutely. Well, thank you so much for walking us through all of that. Thank you for showing
Sure.
us everything from Firefly boards to your sketchbook to everything in between, coloring process, file organization, which you are a saint for. Just as we close out our stream, I am going to also close out the poll. We ended up getting up to 22 votes. 64% of you use blank paper. 23% of you use dotted sketchbook paper and 14% use notebook lines. You're still crazy for that, guys. But we're so happy to see everyone that was here between Jacob and Dino and Clever and Winter and your mom and everybody else. You guys can watch the full replay if you need to catch anything that you missed. And make sure you guys stick around because coming up next, we have Elevating Real Estate Videos with Jacob Phillips and Emily. So it'll be a really good time. So make sure you guys hop on there and we'll see you all real soon.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for having me,
Absolutely.
Ryan.
And one more time, where can we find you on Instagram?
So Alex Copo Designs is my socials and then also my website.
Fantastic. All right. Well, we'll have to make sure we check it out. Well, thank you again, and we'll talk real soon. Bye.
Bye.